My name's Wesley, and welcome to Six Motivation. Now, for many years, I've have thought that dyslexia was my weakness. It made me feel lesser. It gave me the chills. I was embarrassed to speak, embarrassed to do certain things. When it comes to education, I was really timid. Even though I was an outgoing kid, I will participate in anything. But when it comes to the academic part, the reading, the writing, the maths, I was I was back at the class, and it really shamed me, and I was ashamed for myself, and I was ashamed for my family because I didn't really want to put them through that. I felt like I was doing something bad. It was all my fault. Why can't I read a simple book? Why can't I write a simple sentence? And I felt like there was no one there to help me. But that was back in the 80s where it was less known, and if you were like myself, harder of learning, they call it learning disability, the the kind of support you got from the teachers, they weren't the best. They weren't the best, I'm not gonna lie, they weren't the best. And it really made you feel like an outsider, especially when you had to stand up in front of the class with the teacher knowing full well that you couldn't do it, and they still brought you to the forefront of the class to do that, which I thought sometimes was a little bit out of order. And it gave me nightmares. It really did. It gave me chills. I wasn't really happy to go to school. Seeing my friends, I did not mind. I became the clown class to make everybody laugh so I can just hide my disability when it comes to the the other part of the school curricula, I was not the best. And I know some of you, if you're watching this and you can relate, please leave a comment, because I know some of you who may know someone or has gone through it. You have to be patient with people, especially when it comes to things like that. I was pushed to be able to basically forced to say, oh, you can read this, you should be able to read that. And that pushed me away from learning even more, because anytime I got something wrong, it was, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. Never anything encouraging. It was never, okay, keep trying, you really tried here. It was always a negative, never a positive. And that really held me back. But as I get older and I see myself navigating the world, being able to do certain things that even people in higher education can't do, I understand now that not that you should not study or you should not read or you should not better yourself in when it comes to education or anything like that. I'm not trying to say this, but people like me that have dyslexia, we have to find other means to be able to cope with life and to be able to navigate. That's why I call it dyslexia my superpower, because it's it's forced me to be able to learn in a different pace and learn in a different way and still be able to be part of the ecosystem, as people would say. And I can see things differently from other people. I try to look outside the box while some people just stay in that zone. Maybe because the dyslexia forces me to say, listen, that's you can't do it that way, you have to do it this way. And in turn, it makes me look at things in a different way that is more clearer than the people who are stuck. They've got their blinkers on and they're just staring straight. They're not even prepared to turn around. They're not even prepared to think any other way. So that's why I call this dyslexia my superpower, because it's helped me in life. I don't know if I should put it that way, but for the things I couldn't do when I was younger, and as I start to grow up and understand it, and start to do a little bit more reading and try and better myself, because I'm a dad now, I've got kids, so I have to show them, listen, education is the way forward, but you can still do things, you can still achieve your goals, and I'm still here and I will help you out. So please, if you have kids that are suffering from that, encourage them, encourage them, encourage them. Because you know how it was. If you weren't encouraged, you know how bad it was. So please do not do that to anybody else. Encourage them to do better, and just just let them know there's nothing they can't do. But yeah, that's me. This is my channel, Six Motivation. Tell me if you, or if you know someone that's going through the same thing that I went through as a child. Please drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe.